Welcome, this is training number 3, part 4, and we're going to continue where we left off with permissions and calendars and sharing and things like that. So if I go once again into my calendar properties, into permissions, I wanted to mention just for a minute what these other options mean under read. None means that, like if you give somebody no permissions to your calendar, I believe they can't even see it. They get no information whatsoever about your appointments and meetings. If you choose free busy time, what that means is it'll show when you're going to be out or when you're going to be busy, when you're free. Remember those 5 show as statuses? People will be able to see the status and for what time of day on what calendar days, but that's it. They won't know where you are or what you're doing, or they just know that they can't schedule you for those times that you have blocked out. The next one is free, busy, time, subject, and location. So if I open a new meeting, I'll show you where all that stuff is. So subject, location, start time, end time, and show as, those are what people would be able to see with that permission level. Anything that you write here in the message body would be hidden to them. And then last, full details, where they can see the message body too. If I click the other free busy option, this would allow me to publish my calendar to a website on the city's webpage. We don't have that currently set up yet, but we'll look into that. But and sharing a calendar with somebody outside of the organization, I think that works mainly well when they have Outlook in their organization as well. I really don't know what it looks like if they use another solution like Google Calendar or GroupWise. All right, we're going to look at the way that shared calendars affect things. So I'm going to go into new meeting, and if I look over here on the left under shared calendars, I have Cody Stagel and Doug Fitt listed. Everything else is a room. I've got programmers grouped into a calendar group, which is really just a folder, right? I can right-click, add a new calendar group, and then drag and drop people into that group. So I've got them. But there's a lot of people here that I contact regularly that I just don't have quick access to their calendar, and that's okay because I can still create appointments with them. Let's say that I need to meet with Lori Merritt in the Development Services Department. And we're going to do a subject of test meeting. I know. What I lack in creativity, I make up in style, right? Alright, then I'm going to click the Scheduling Assistant button, and it's loading our calendars. And of course, it's the weekend on January 4th, so let's move this over to another day, another time. Alright, Thursday, January 8th. Okay. On Wednesday, at the very end of Wednesday, you can see that Lori has some things set up that I should not create a meeting at that point because she's going to be busy. Her permissions are such that it looks like I can see what the subject of her emails, her appointments are. And that's nice. Now I'll say one reason why it is nice. Let's say that you sometimes have meetings that take you away from Orem. If that meeting in Spanish Fork ends at 3 o'clock, it would probably not be a good idea for me to set up a meeting that starts at 3 o'clock because it's going to take you time to travel back. So that's one reason I do give permissions to the details to everybody else in the city, is so that they can tell if I'm outside the city and kind of gauge when I would be back to be able to attend another meeting. Alright, so although I don't have Lori listed as a proxy over here, I can still see her appointments when I go to Scheduling Assistant. If her permissions had been set to none, I wouldn't get any information. I wouldn't know when she was available or not to send a meeting. All right. Close that. Don't save the changes. In my last video, you remember that I clicked on my own GIS calendar and saw how that fit in with my default calendar. The same is true when you click on the calendars for other people. They show up with a different color, and they normally they show up side by side unless you click too many names, and then it goes to what's called Schedule View. So if I want to show my calendar along with Ernesto's and Liam's on overlay mode, I just click the overlay button, and Ernesto's appointments are green and Liam's are orange, and you get the picture. But if I check all these programmers, then I go into Schedule View. One thing that you need to know about Schedule View is that it does not show free appointments. It only shows busy and out of the office and whatnot. Why? Well, because free appointments shouldn't get in the way of scheduling. If I want to try and make an appointment, this is really reminiscent of the Scheduling Assistant, right? Is it not? Where I'm looking at rows of people trying to figure out a date and time that would work for a meeting for everybody involved. So that's Schedule View. All right, go back to month. We're in January. Good. I also noted how the GIS calendar, or any other calendar you create, not only shows up as a different color, but let's say that I've got the GIS tab selected. Again, my other appointments are light blue, and this is going to be a dark green. But if I flip, this is a light green, and these are a darker blue. The active calendar, or the active tab, is what matters when I go and create a new appointment in overlay mode. So if I create something for the 15th and I've got GIS here, new appointment, it's going to presume I want it in my GIS calendar. So we're going to, alright, if test meeting is getting boring, then we should come up with somebody with some other name. So, grudge match. Let's have a grudge match. The location, the parking lot, of course. I'm going to save and close, and that item is green. But now I'm going to flip over to my default blue calendar. I'm going to right click, do new appointment, and let's see, there's grudge match. How about Street Fighter? Ceremony? Boy, am I picking at flies. That's not the right term, is it? Swatting at flies? Location? Main Street. Yeah. Alright, save and close. And that ends up being blue. Okay? So your active tab is where your new appointments will go when you right click on it. Well, what would I do if I open a new meeting or a new appointment from these other buttons? Do I have, a choice for what calendar this goes in? Let's go through here. File. Move to folder. There we go. That's where we would choose what folder this new thing is going to go in. Very good. Okay, I'm going to delete these. How do I delete them? Right click. You guessed it. And delete. When I right click on a meeting that I created, the option is going to be cancel. And what that will do is it'll send a cancellation notice to the people that you invited and offer to remove it from their calendar. So Doug has sent me some fake appointments. They are in tentative status. That's why they have this candy striping here, and I haven't accepted them yet. One of them is a reoccurring meeting. We'll look at that. So he sent me an appointment for today. This was like 2 weeks ago that he sent it. I'm only just now getting to it. I can right click and see any... No, I didn't right-click. I double-clicked. I can see any text he put in there. Here's the location. And I can save it and close it, but I haven't really accepted it yet. So I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to accept, and I'm going to send the response now. I went over those options in another part of this training. Now it darkens up. It changes its candy striping to the solid blue, which means that I'm busy. Notice that these other ones are just reminders. They're set as free time. I mean, they don't... It's okay, if I postpone one of these little tasks. So free shows up as this white see-through rectangle. Anyway, okay, let's go to some others. This is a reoccurring meeting that Doug sent me. It's for Wednesday in February, and I'm going to pretend that I have a conflict on the 18th that I just forgot to put on my calendar. So I'm going to right-click any one of these. I'm going to accept, and notice that I have twice as many options as I did before, because I'm either doing the action on this occurrence of the meeting or the whole series, the whole month, because I believe that's all he sent it for. Yeah, it was the month of February. So I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to send the response now so that he gets a little ticket item back saying that, I accepted these meetings. Now they all darken up, and interestingly, these are showing as tentative, but I'm going to right-click this one on the 18th, and I'm going to decline it. Now I don't want to decline the series. I just want to decline the occurrence. Also, I do want Doug to know that I can't attend that one time, so I do want to send the response now. I could edit the response first and explain, sorry Doug, I forgot to put this thing on my calendar, I can't attend the 18th, and he could possibly resend the appointment so that maybe we'd meet on, say, Tuesday or Thursday. So I'll send the response now. See, now it's off my calendar, but the others remain. Instead of making this tentative, I'm going to right-click, and I did accept all the responses, but I don't want it to be tentative. I can show as busy. Now the other one shows busy too. Cool. And I think he sent me another meeting. I could be wrong. Go into my mailbox. Remember that incoming meetings show up in your inbox. These are the meetings that Doug sent, and the date here is the date that he sent them, not the date that the meeting is for. So I've already accepted that one, the reoccurring meeting. The code budget meeting is for Tuesday, January 6th. So what I want you to note here is that in the body of the message, Outlook does this cool thing where it shows my schedule for the day, and I can see that he sent me a meeting for a time that I already have something else going on, my weekly staff meeting with the other programmers and Tom. Well, I told him to do this, but this is what it looks like, and that's the purpose for these few bars up here. So I'm going to go ahead and decline. I'll send the response now. And now that one doesn't show on my calendar, and it actually goes to deleted items. And great. I can also find out about the reoccurring meeting for February. If I expanded this, it doesn't show all of the meetings that he sent. It simply shows the conversation. I've already accepted it, and it just sort of stays here in my inbox. I can delete the item without deleting the calendar item. So server upgrade options is for Friday, January 2nd, which is today. So if I delete the email and go back to calendar, I still have that meeting in my calendar. The meeting hangs around in the inbox, I believe, for conversation's sake. If I go back to calendar, back to February, I still have all those meetings, even though I deleted the thing in the inbox. Alright, that concludes this part of calendar training. Stay tuned for more.